Hey guys, welcome back to muscleworx TV. You've got Nina and Jarrod.
Yo guys, back at it.
Everyone's probably sick of me by now. Okay, so you guys have been sending in lots of questions and we listen. So we are here to answer all your questions for you.
Pretty much.
So we picked our favourite 5 from this week and we're going to answer them for you. So do you want to take away the first one?
So the first one was from Michelle on the muscleworx Australia Facebook page. I was talking about Oxytree, but you can really talk about any fat burner here. She wanted to know, she's taken it for 4 weeks straight now. She wants to know if she can continue taking it for longer than that, and whether she should cycle off or keep taking it or keep taking how many tubs. Basically, it's really up to you guys, but I would suggest taking 2 tubs consecutively, so 4 to 8 weeks, obviously for 2 tubs, and then cycling off for maybe 2 to 4 weeks as a minimum. And then if you want to continue using it again, you can jump back on it again after that. But it really depends on how much you're using per day.
Yeah.
But usually, so 2 tubs, a tub's going to last you about a month. So if you use 2 tubs in a row, it's going to be 8 weeks. And then have your 4 weeks off and then reassess whether you want to continue using.
That's it. Your body is very good at adapting. So it will adapt to the stimulants, it will adapt to the caffeine. So you want to either switch products maybe after that too, after that break, just to kind of change it up. Or you just want to give your body a break from the caffeine and stimulants so it's not relying on that and you want to reduce the stress in your body.
The effect that you're going to get after, if you say continue from 8 to 12 to 16 weeks, is going to be less and less and less. So that 4-week cycle off is to sort of reset your system. So when you jump back on it after 4 to 8 weeks, you can get that real fresh energy hit. The ingredients are going to work as perfectly as they should, and everyone's happy. So
that's it, guys. Yeah. Any like really scientific or ingredient questions, fire them through because Jarrod is a whiz. At that, I'm going to palm them all off to him. Whatever.
No, it's all good.
I'm still going to jump in no matter what. Yeah. Like you still have to put up with me answering.
No, guys, seriously, fire out any questions on specific ingredients, even if they're about specific ingredients versus specific products. And certain stimulants are quite confusing and to understand how they work in the body. So happy to answer any questions like that, guys.
We got you back. Okay, next one is from Daniel. So we've actually taken all these from our muscleworx Australia Facebook this week. So it's all from Facebook. We see everything. Daniel, this is quite a long question, so I'm going to kind of condense what he's asking. So basically, Daniel's been recently starting like a low calorie with small meal type of diet, trying to watch his macros, and obviously I think he's a bigger guy, so he's trying to lose a little bit of weight, but he's finding it actually hard to hit his calorie targets for what he needs to hit. And also, so in that case he's asking, because he's struggling to hit his calories and macros, to overall calories in general, what's the most important macros to hit? Is it protein? And if so, how can he get his protein up? He's actually not exercising at the moment because he doesn't want to burn more calories because he can't eat enough anyway. And is looking for some tips. Hope that this is going to be a long answer. Basically, look, one or two things. Like at the end of the day, if you wanting to lose fat, you still need to eat a certain amount of calories. If you eat too little, your metabolism's going to slow down. Your body's going to go into starvation mode. So you kind of got to find that Goldilocks, sweet spot for calories, even if you're trying to lose weight, because eating less doesn't mean better results at some point either. Exactly. So my recommendation would be is really try to hit those calories, especially if they're just a BMR or basal metabolic rate calories, because they're going to be quite low. If you're if you're feeling physically full, which he says he is, be smarter about your food choices. So in that case, try to pick, get enough vegetables in, but maybe pick other things like rice and higher calorie dense foods. So you're not eating a huge volume of food, so you can fit it all in. So things like rice cakes are easy to digest. Things like oats might be a bit heavy if you're not used to it. But if you're going to pick one macro to hit that's really important, definitely hit your protein and spread your protein out throughout the day, because you need that to repair, to keep your muscle building. You need to activate that protein synthesis multiple times a day throughout the day. So if you're going to hit any macro, hit your protein, but then make up the rest of your calories from your carbs and fats. And you need to try to hit enough fats, because that's so important for your hormone function and everything, and just try to get those carbs in as much as you can, even if it's, I'm a macro person, so for me, like if it's lollies or whatever, just get them in somehow, you know, if it's easy to digest. But I would definitely suggest still exercising. Don't reduce your exercise just because you think you're, you know, eating too much, and by being more active, you're probably going to get your metabolism ramping, you're going to be hungrier, but focus more on resistance or weights training rather than the cardio, because you want to build that muscle. So look, aim for overall calories, still force yourself to eat the first few weeks, because that will, you know, you'll get hungrier as you go. Be smart about your food choices and don't pick as many whole foods possibly, just to digest them quickly. Protein is always first, and start training. That'll be my recommendations.
Pretty much I agree with what most of Nina said, but obviously, like I said, like Nina said, protein and fats are essential. We actually need those to function. Protein obviously for muscle development and recovery and repair, as well as other things you didn't even realize are happening.
And try to get the carbs in when you can.
Fats for hormone production, like she said, and the carbs are just going to be for that energy. So if anything, you need to make sure you eat your protein and fats, and then the carbs you can add in as well, to make sure you always have energy to train as well. And you know, you don't want to be always having a keto diet where you're having no carbs. So carbs keep you interested. They taste delicious. You
carbs are fun.
Oats, rice, potatoes,
low-fat ice cream,
rice cakes, all sorts of stuff like that. So pasta, all that sort of stuff is enjoyable to eat. So you can get that in there.
Exactly. So, just try, keep going, one day at a time. You got this, Daniel. You got it. Keep eating. Next one is from Tori. She has said, I was wondering on how to get sponsored by muscleworx. We get this question a lot. She said she's competing in NABA in 11 weeks. She's also competed in the IMBA, and she placed first. She's only under 21, so she's a baby, and she's now looking for a sponsor to help her out for her next comp. We have a lot of tips on this. Do you want to get started?
Yeah, well, I think this goes for pretty much any company, not just muscleworx, but I think it's important that you have interaction with your followers. It's 2016 now, and social media is the platform for everyone, and that's how companies gauge your success and how much benefit they're going to get from you and how much you're going to get from them. So we, our athletes, we have a reciprocal relationship where we give them products, so we look after them and they look after us by recommending us to their clients or their friends or their family and that sort of thing, their followers. So it's very important that you don't have to have 400,000 followers on Instagram. It's more important that you have people interacting with you, asking you questions. What's your favorite branched chain amino acid product? When do you use your pre-workout? Those kind of questions that relate to muscleworx in this case, and keep going, man. Get that interaction happening. So don't be deterred if you don't have that stupidly high number of followers on Instagram. That will grow as you.
It's about your quality of followers too, and who's gonna buy the products that you're posting about or come into the stores because you've said done a post about it and that kind of thing.
Exactly. So, even if you get 2 or 3 girls asking you on every post you do about amino acids or protein or how to use it or why to use it or when to use it, it's so important, guys. So you don't have to be that superstar, mega famous Instagram person.
I will say this next bit because I've come from being as part of a company and someone who looks at the athletes we're choosing, and also I've been an athlete myself as part of being sponsored by other companies. So you need to remember that just because you won a show or just because you've done one comp doesn't mean that's gonna you shouldn't feel like then you deserve the world. You still need to earn it. Even when I remember when I got my pro card, it didn't change anything. It wasn't like, people don't throw sponsorships at you.
Exactly.
So you need to show loyalty to a company. I'm a firm believer in representing a brand or company that you actually are passionate about and that you believe in, and you want to be a part of their team because you want that for the long term, not just because you're getting free stuff or they might pay for some things, which is great. So remember, start by showing loyalty, representing the brand, and over time you will earn those rewards. Don't expect them to start with, because most companies might want to only give you a discount. You might not even get anything for free. And that's fine. You shouldn't turn that away, because at the end of the day, companies will reward the people that put out the most for them. So I think that's really important to remember. Big time.
Exactly. And just be down.
It's give and take. It's not just all take from you.
If I could say something, be down to earth and just be yourself. Because we don't always look for the people that win comps. Because a lot of people win comps, We don't just choose from the winners. We choose people that like we have interaction,
some of
down to earth, loyalty.
Some of our best athletes that represent muscleworx don't even compete.
Exactly.
And we look at that. Some of them aren't even active on social media, and they generate the most sales for us. It's crazy. So you got to look at what you can bring, and obviously if you're fit and you're passionate, that's fantastic. And remember, you just have to earn your way as well. So some of our top athletes didn't start on what they're on now. They started on very, very minimal, and then years down the track, they get looked after very well. So with any company, I think that's the way it goes.
Exactly. I think we've pretty much covered it.
Yeah, easy. But keep going. And she's only 21. Like, that's so young. So
much time.
I started when I was 23. So, you've got time.
Heaps and heaps of time.
Big time. All right, next one. Take it away from Mel.
So Mel is actually vegan, and she wants to know, I think, what she's using a high protein soy powder, but she has high estrogen, so
not ideal.
Not great. So
no deal to soy.
Basically, we'll be removing soy protein from your diet because that can promote high estrogen levels in the body. So I would get maybe a vegan protein that doesn't use any soy protein. We have the Prana OM brand at Muscleworx.
Awesome.
Brown rice protein, pea protein, artichoke protein.
It's completely vegan and
organic,
natural.
Raw, natural, alkaline, completely vegan. It's really the one you want to go for. Well, for Mel, it is in her case, but sort of anyone really. You don't really need soy in your diet.
No.
So it's great that they've got an option there that we can go for the vegans with no soy. So.
And speaking from someone who I had estrogen dominance in the past, so it's when your estrogen, bad estrogen is too high compared to your test levels.
Exactly.
Really, really good brand is ATP Science, and they do the Alpha Venus for women, which actually will help restore and rebalance your good estrogen levels to bad. So that's a great product. They also do the Block E cream, which you can rub on those problem areas, and that actually helps detoxify estrogen from, your surface. So you're using the Alpha Venus for the inside out and the Block E from the outside in, pretty much.
And just to go off Nina's comment, we actually have the Alpha Prime as well for the guys. Just a bit of a detour here, but that's a very similar product to the Alpha Venus for the girls.
Yeah.
So it's basically got a high concentrate of DIM, which is diindolylmethane. So that's going to help metabolize all that circulating estrogen in your body to better balance the testosterone to estrogen ratio. Yes. So you can be more anabolic, be a leaner, more harder physique,
firmer in all the right areas,
better energy, all those kind of benefits you're going to get from a better T to E ratio. So
exactly,
it's important to realize, guys, there are other things you can do. Change your protein powder, jump on Alpha Venus, maybe adjust your diet a little bit, maybe increase your broccoli intake. Decrease any soy, tofu or any sort of milks that have any soy products in them.
Switch to almond milk, people.
Exactly, yeah.
No soy.
So many options. Do some reading, guys. We can do some separate questions or topics on it in the future. But hit us up with more questions if you want to know about that sort of stuff. So
we have one more question. This is, I think, your forte. So Louise has asked, how long do pre-workouts or stimulants stay in your system? Now, we get asked this a lot by people who do fly in, fly out, people who are getting medicals or getting tested and things like that, because sometimes they can show up.
Well, we'll just talk about, I won't go too into detail here, we'll just talk about caffeine because that's pretty much the staple in all of these products.
Let's do the layman's terms version.
Okay, caffeine.
Just to the question, because you're Mr. Scientist.
So basically, caffeine has a half-life of about 5 to 6 hours. I think it's about 5.7 exactly. So that means if you take your dose of, say, 300 milligrams of caffeine at 12 p.m. in the afternoon, let's go with that because it's a nice, easy number, you're going to have 150 milligrams left in your system 6 hours later, or just under 6 hours later. So
this is why I can't have pre-workouts at night.
You need to understand, if you have a pre-workout at 12 and you go and have another one at say 6 o'clock, you're still going to have 150 milligrams of caffeine from the first pre-workout you took or the first fat burner you took, and then add that to what you're taking at 6 as well. So just be aware, guys, that it builds up. So, and every half-life after that, so another 6 hours after that, that 150 is going to be less. So it's going to exactly half. So it's going to be 75 milligrams, and then so on and so on. So it takes a considerable amount of time for all that caffeine to be worked out of your system. So it's important to realize how much caffeine you're taking in for that day and when you're taking it in.
And then you've got the stimulant ingredients on top of that as well.
Oh, and that's just the caffeine as well. So that's not talking about, DMAA, synephrine, hordenine,
and they could last for days.
So if you're worried, if you're having issues with sleep and you don't know what it is, it very well could be that. So I know a lot of people that take their pre-workout at 7:30, 8:30 at night, expecting to go to bed all good at say 10 p.m. Probably not going to happen in most cases. You're going to have some sort of restlessness or interrupted sleep there.
And I think anyone for doing like medicals or anything like that, you're probably looking at a good 5 days to a week, maybe 2 weeks, depending on what you're using to get out of your system.
It depends on the person and how much they're using and what the strength of it is. Because some products are a lot stronger than others.
Yes.
And how often you've been using it, every day or twice a day, or some people have 3 or 4. Sort of, they have coffees as well. You're having any green teas or any sort of Coca-Cola, stuff like that. There's caffeine in most of these products, so just be aware, guys, that build-up can happen, and the excretion time, we'll call it, of caffeine from your body isn't exactly like it's gone in 2 hours. It takes a bit of time for it to get processed and metabolized. So just be aware, I think, is the key there. Most of the pre's and fat burners are fairly strong. So
the stimulants I find are a lot stronger than just the caffeine content as well.
Yeah, I think it's the synergistic effect of the caffeine plus the cinnamon, the hormone, the teocrine, those kind of things. So
exactly,
I think the combination makes them quite powerful.
I love coffee. We said last week, I need an intervention. I have a problem.
Your almond milk coffees, man.
I have them. Oh, let's not go into that.
Deliciousness.
They are delicious. Okay, cool. Well, that sums up the questions.
That's pretty much it for today.
Every time. This is how I get in the chair. I need to stop squatting or something. How do you get in when you're like a giant and I am a midget and I can't get in?
I squeezed in.
I'm just gonna. Let's just do the segment from here.
You're not gonna. BJJ skill right there. That flexible.
Yeah, BCA.